Welcome to the Figure Fit Lifestyle Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Liz Nierzwicki, international best-selling author of the book Happy, Healthy, Fit, founder and owner of Solace Yoga Studio, Solace Yoga School, and Figure Fit, the worldwide online personal training program. I'm a single mom, Paleo Fit Score female champion for 2014. I am a self and soul love expert, an entrepreneur at heart, a visionary and a futurist. I'm also a mentor. I am so grateful that you are here. Each week, I'll bring you a special guest or an inspirational tip that will help you break old patterns, find that inner motivation that will help you take action towards creating the life of your dreams. You didn't come here to play small and watch others live amazing lives. No, you are divine, my godly friend. The universe wants to shower you with an amazing life filled with happiness and soulful connections. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome to the Figure Fit Podcast, where we discuss fitness, paleo nutrition, yoga, meditation, spirituality, and other ways to have a happy, peaceful, and abundant life. And here's your host, Liz Nierzwicki.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So today I wanted to share with you some tips and a really, really cool story. So this was actually incredible. And you guys, I want to encourage you to open your eyes to things like this happening in your own life, because it's always happening. So this was about maybe a month ago, and I was having a really bad experience with one of my employees. This employee was supposed to be doing some stuff for my business and didn't get it done, with no communication that they weren't going to be able to get it done, and it just didn't get done without, any reasons, any excuses, and I was so mad. Because when you have an expectation and this is for your business and it needs to get out so people can see it, and it's communication, and it's not about me, it's not about her, it's about the business. We have employees who rely on this information getting out there. And so this is for my yoga studio, and this was this person's responsibility to get this information out to the world, to our clients. And we spoke about what was going to be done and when, and it just didn't happen. So I was so mad. And it really affected my physiological state of being for, a couple of hours. And there was one point in time when, I was talking to my son about it, and I was upset about the fact that, this person had a job to do and they didn't do it. And I was talking to my son about it, and he was like, yeah, that sucks. It's not okay. So we were kind of talking about it. This was on a Saturday. And then I was like thinking about how this was really affecting my physiological state of being. And, I meditate a lot. I meditate every day. And so over the years, the awareness of what is going on within my body and within my mental state is it's become way more obvious what's happening. Whereas in the past, I would feel it, but not really be able to identify where it is, what's happening, what's the thought behind the feeling. And now I'm able to see and able to recognize faster. And that is the best thing that's ever happened to me because of meditation. So I was leaving my bedroom, and I was standing there, and I said out loud, I have got to stop allowing other people to affect my physiological state of being. I can no longer allow anything outside of me to affect my physiological being. It is not okay. It's not okay that another person affects my physiological state of being. It's not okay that, if we have some sort of thing or expectation, that it affects the body. So I made the statement out loud, and my son goes, yeah, I like that. And so I walked out of my bedroom. I went into the living room, walked into my kitchen. All of a sudden, I see this eagle not an eagle, what am I talking about? A hawk. This hawk fly in, swoop down, and I was like, oh, look. And this hawk flies in, swoops down, and lands in the back of my yard. And as a spiritual person, there's always symbolism behind a moment like that, this crescendo, where I make a statement out loud to the universe, and then this hawk flies in. How rare is that? A hawk just flies in, comes in, it lands. And I said to my son, look. So we're looking, and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then all of a sudden my son goes, oh, it's on something. It's on, like there's something underneath it. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if it's a mouse. And hawks have this incredible eyesight. So wherever it was in the sky, it saw its prey, and it came down, swooped down, and landed on it. And I didn't see it right away, but my son saw this thing moving under it. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's a mouse, or I wonder if it's a bird, because we couldn't see it from where it was just sitting. And then all of a sudden it was the hawk was just so chill, just sitting there, looking out, just looking over its shoulder, like do, while it's on top of something, killing it basically. And my son goes, oh, it's making me sad. I don't like it. I said, well, if you don't like it, then open the door and you'll scare the hawk away and it'll fly away. So he goes, okay. So he opens the door and the hawk flies away, but with the prey in its talons, in its claws, right? And it flies away, and he goes, oh no, he carried it with it. And I just kind of like laughed, because I was like, this is life. And the moment was so incredible, because to me, the statement I made to the universe was so good, so real, so powerful, that the universe confirmed my statement that no, you cannot allow what other people are doing to affect your state of being. Be so rooted in yourself and so sure that no matter what is happening, it is happening for a reason. And that's okay. And it's all okay. And that was such an incredible story and moment in my life and my son's life, for us to really witness, a statement being made to the universe of the power of really standing embodied in your own self, and knowing that there's confirmation in your beliefs, in your statements that you make to the world. And so I looked up hawk symbolism, and I grabbed my son, and we both started to read this. We actually had to get in the car, so I asked my son to read this to me while we were driving. And here's what it says. When hawk swoops into your life, which was like incredible, because it's exactly what happened after I made that statement to the world out loud. It said, when a hawk swoops into your life, be ready for a whole new level of awareness developing in your mind and your spirit. Hawk bears observation skills and broad perspectives on his wings. You could not ask for a better companion if you've been working on your overall insights, which is exactly what I've been doing with my life and with coaching, not only at my studio, but my online clients, and also my higher end private clients. And also with the up and coming launch of Nierzwicki.com, all of the things that I'm bringing to my members online, my people online, my community here, you guys, it's all of the things that I have been learning over the last 8 years, really my life, but spiritually and teaching in the spiritual role over the last 7 years at my studio, and through teaching the teachers at my yoga studio in this perspective, this higher perspective of there's always something happening, and it's always for you. Literally, Gabrielle Bernstein wrote the book, The Universe Has Your Back. And when you really start to walk the spiritual walk, and you start to really see the path unfolding in front of you, so you are love. That's who you are. But your mind gets in the way. The human aspect of our world gets in the way, and it wants to tell us we're something else. It wants to tell us we're just this. We're just this person who works in this job, or we're just this mom. But no, nothing ever really matters. Time is always going. You are always just love and spirit, living and being and searching for happiness, right? Everything we do is an effort to feel and be happy. Okay? So let me keep reading this. It says, Hawk is often a messenger from angels, devas, and the divine. He signals a time in your life when you need to focus on what's ahead and prepare for a leadership role. Your global vision is a potent helpmate in this. Just as a hawk, you are ready to fly higher than ever before. And this is so cool because this hawk experience came before my trip to Austin when I was working with Paleo Magazine, but more specifically, before I did this deep immersion in my business and about exactly what I wanted to carry forward to my community and to my tribe. And I've said this to you before that Solace Yoga Studio was like 1.0, Figure Fit Online was like 2.0, Nierzwicki.com is like 3.0, and that's teaching the meditation, the mindset, and helping people really understand that it all is in the mind. And then 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 is consciously creating, living as the spirit, being the god or the goddess that you are here to be, and consciously creating with the universe. And so all of that's coming via Nierzwicki.com. So here I'm going to keep going. It's not unusual for a hawk to inspire a time when you begin working heavily with new methods. Effectively, you're learning to trust your own inner guidance and higher self. Do not simply brush off gut instincts as being happenstance. When the hawk is around, these moments become far more frequent. Direct your attention to the messages you're getting and let the hawk hone your focus. In nature, hawk is a bird of prey. This means that as you are learning a lot about timing your action, hawk medicine begins with observation and ends with swift, decisive, successful movement. And that's exactly what happened. I made that statement to the universe, and the hawk swooped in, landed on its prey, and tackled it, killed it, flew off with it. I mean, this couldn't have been such a better moment in time to really say what you just said is absolute right on, Elizabeth. And that was such an amazing wink from the universe. So continuing with the reading, it says, do not be surprised if you find your psychic abilities, especially clairvoyance, growing. One of the hawk's greatest aptitude is their vision. But in a spiritual setting, this applies to not just physical sight, but supernatural seeing too. And my whole life, I have had very, very, like almost like I feel like a very spiritual wire, direct wire of having absolute direct insight to exactly what I need, exactly what's going on in a situation, and knowing. And you guys, I'm not special here. You all have this. You all do. I was talking to one of my friends today. He was like, hey, I need your opinion on this. You know, I want to know if I'm being BS'd by one of my employees. And before he even started to speak his story, I said, yes, you are, period. Because if you feel that, then you are. Your feelings are never wrong. You're never wrong. You always know. Your gut is always right. So I'm going to keep going with this. In ancient times, hawk was associated with the soul. The Egyptians, for example, depicted the human spirit as a hawk that flew out of the body and reincarnated as a hawk. Notably, Horus, the sky god, also held hawk sacred. Similarly, the Greeks associated hawk with Jupiter, the chief among all gods. So as a spirit animal, hawk teaches awareness. The universe is trying to send you a message. It makes sense that it is vital for you to interpret the spiritual message correctly and internalize the associated lesson, right? Absolutely. But when this bird of prey presents as your spirit animal, you are now on notice that even the most ordinary circumstances could have deeper meanings. Hawks have the sharpest eyesight of all raptors. This signifies that it's time for you to pause and pay attention to everything. In particular, hawk challenge you to get a higher perspective on something that's been holding you back. Until you get the big picture, you could remain stagnant. All right, this is another part that's really important about this. Also, hawks hunt in groups. When hawk shows, perhaps it's time to ask yourself the company you keep in both your personal and your professional life. What people do you currently consider a part of your true soul group? In times of trouble, who will come to your aid and who will fly away in fear, leaving you suspended in the mid-air with no ally to your flank? Hawk medicine can be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, as it not only asks us to consider who our real friends are, but asking us too if we're a real friend to others. Hawks often mate for life. With this and their group hunting practices, hawks perfectly exemplify the all for one and one for all pledge. Do you have the courage to stand up for your friends and family during times of duress? Have the others in your group misplaced their trust in you, or will you fly to their defense should the occasion arise? Hawk people have very positive outlooks on life. You see the best of what's to come and are anxious to share those words of hope with others. The only problem with your intense perspective is that it may make people a little antsy. Oh man, that's so me sometimes. I'm very direct. I'm very passionate. And I know that even with my own mom, it's been a challenging position sometimes because I see things. I see and I speak the truth. And sometimes I have this phrase on my website, on my blog, where it says, truth is like poetry, and most people effing hate poetry. And that was from the movie The Big Short. It's true. So there are some truths humans willfully hide from themselves, and Hawk wants to drag those truths out into the light of day. So if Hawk is your totem animal, your lesson is to spin around the medicine wheel, maybe to balance your vision with a healthy portion of sensitivity. Red-tailed hawk symbolism and meanings are tied closely to the kundalini and the root chakra. Those with the hawk totem animal are passionate, confident partners who possess a strong libido. Because of the kundalini connection, hawk people constantly seek higher enlightenment and devote a good deal of their lives to trying to find and live their bliss. Seek out hawk as a power animal when you feel like you're missing something that's right in front of you. Hawk is an excellent hunter, and hawk energy can help you ferret out elusive signs, omens, messages, and even get a better perspective on jobs and relationships. Hawk can also support the quest for fresh outlooks. The old, outmoded ways of thinking need not remain imprinted on your soul. Awaken the possibilities that others miss. And here, fear is not an emotion hawk even entertains, even for a second. The hawk will swoop in on a poisonous snake and in a nanosecond tear off their head. While this is a bit gruesome, it is a fact of nature. Invoke hawk energy as your power animal when poisonous people or situations threaten your safety or your well-being. Obviously, tear off their head is a metaphor and not to be taken literally. However, hawk energy can help you learn how to communicate that you mean business, and one should think twice before they try to harm you. So in a Native American tradition, hawk is the earth's guardian. In spirit form, hawk flies continuously, remaining ever vigilant. Iroquois stories say that hawk bears a bow and fire arrows to help in his commission. Hawk feathers are sacred in numerous tribes, often being included in costumes for rituals. Here is hawk as a Celtic animal symbol. Celtic symbolism for hawk is similar to the Far East as a powerful messenger from other realms. When hawk appeared, it was a message to keep your wits sharp and prepare. Circling hawks presage death or conquest. When you have hawk dreams, it's about the symbol is letting you know it's time to proceed carefully. There's something you're not seeing, so pay particular attention as to what and whom the hawk is seeing. So I want to move on to another story about how this kind of came back in my life when I was down in Austin. So there was a gentleman who saw me speaking at the Paleo magazine booth, and then there's he saw me later getting coffee, and him and this other lady were at this place also getting coffee. I came in and I grabbed a coffee sample, and when I walked away, he followed me and he started talking to me. He said, "Hey, can I introduce you to my son?" But as we're walking, he already had known, I guess, what I do in terms of yoga and talking to people about spirituality, and he wanted advice. So he started to tell me about a friend who's really sick. And we talked a little bit about his friend, and I could sense, and I could also see that this was affecting this man. Obviously, if he's going to be talking about it, it's affecting him. His friend is not there, and this man is in a whole nother state at a convention and sharing a story about his friend with me, somebody he does not know. This gentleman had a more red face, so therefore indicating to me higher blood pressure. And I was just witnessing and observing the situation. So we went over and I asked, he said, I want to introduce you to my son. I said, are you wanting to introduce me to your son to introduce me to your son, or you want me to see your son's business? And he's like, to see my son's business. So I was like, okay. So maybe that's just it here. So I was like, okay, I will learn about your son's business. So I walked over with him right around the corner to his son's booth, and I met him and his son. Started talking to his son, and we started talking about fitness and yoga and different spiritual aspects of how they all play together, mind, body, soul. And we all three stood together and talked for about 20 minutes. And at the end of the conversation, I said, goodbye, it's nice to meet you. And I left, and I went over to another booth, and then all of a sudden I turn around and that man is right there in my visual field again. And he immediately starts talking to me about another story. And I'm thinking, so I had this moment where I was just like, okay, what is going on? Why is this guy here again telling me another story? What is this guy wanting to share with me or get from me? Okay. One of the things that I have learned as a teacher, and when I've been speaking, there are people who will come up to you afterwards when you're done, and they just want to dump onto you. And it's not that that's what they want to do, I don't believe, but it's what happens. They start to dump on you. But when you're done and you've given, you have to zip yourself up so that you protect your own energy field. And in this moment of time, I was done with that conversation. I left. I went on my way. And for this man to be back in my sphere and to be once again dumping information onto me that I didn't ask for, and I didn't say I was going to teach him or coach him or help him. It was just, this was happening. So I grounded myself. I stood on both feet, stood in my mountain pose, my yoga pose. And my higher self was saying, okay, what is going on here? This is your moment for you to really observe the situation, feel what is happening, protect your energy field, not allow anyone from an external source to affect your physiological being, because for a moment it started to, because I was like, why is he here again? Why is he dumping this negativity onto me? And that's what I felt instantly. And I said to myself, no, I'm not accepting this. I'm not taking this on. So I squared my feet. I looked at him. I listened. And he started to go into another story. I opened my upper chakras and I said, I will receive guidance here to give this man what he needs. And so what came out of me was the question of, I said, let me ask you, what are you feeling right now? How does sharing this story with me make you feel? And he stopped and he went inside and he goes, not good. I said, I can see that. I can see that this is not making you feel good. I said, and here's what's happening. You are spreading this energy with me and also with anybody else you're sharing this story with. I said, you're here. You're in Austin. Your friend isn't here. I said, I respect your concern for your friend, but you are letting this now affect your own physiological state of being, and now you're sharing that with people around you. I said, is that what you want to do? And he goes, no. And I said, so how can you let go of any sort of responsible feeling that you're feeling right now and just ground into your own self? Release this story of your friend. Release this, to the universe. Just let it go. And you be here now with yourself. And I said to him, right now you're in this energetic vibe, and this energetic vibe is what you're sharing with the people around you and the world around you. In order for you to elevate to a higher vibe, you're going to have to stop this. And right now in this moment of time, you're going to have to find something else that you are appreciating. I said, you're in a good spot for that because look around you. There's so much to appreciate here. So what can you appreciate right now? And he stopped and he gave me an example of something that he can appreciate, that he's here, that he's with the sun. I said, exactly. Move into that and start really beating the drum of that. Exactly this thing. Move your energetic vibration up so that you're sharing goodness with people. And that is the light that you share with the world. Not the negativity, not the darkness. I said, what's going on with your friend doesn't need to be in your mind right now. It doesn't need to be rummaging around in your body and your physical state, nor does it need to be shared with others because there's nothing you can do about it. So how can you raise your vibe right now? How can you share a better vibe with the world? Because the energy of a problem is never solved by beating the drum of the problem itself. The solution comes when we take our mind off of the problem and we allow the solution to come to us. And, in this situation, that's not his job. That wasn't his job. So the moment was wonderful where, the universe, there's a book I read and I teach from called The Course in Miracles. And in that book, it says there are no chance encounters. Every single encounter that you experience matters, whether people come into your life for a moment, a reason, or a season. And I'm sure you've all heard that as well. The Course in Miracles mirrors that, and it says there are no chance encounters. Everything matters. So in that moment of time, I needed to teach this to this man. I also needed to be grounded and in my belief of my statement I made a couple weeks prior that I will not allow things outside me to affect my physiological being. So in that moment of time, all of my yoga training, my embodying the self, being embodied and grounded in my own being, but also knowing I'm protected and zipping myself up and knowing I'm protected, that I can just visualize this energetic field that is not going to allow this negativity in, but I can bounce light off of myself to him so that he can receive it. And that is exactly what came through me in that moment, and is that exactly what I shared with him. So once I told him that, he said, thank you. And he turned and he walked away. And that was it. It was so good. And it was one of those moments where I just really knew that there was a reason behind that, not only for me, but for him. There was an exchange of something learned and something shared, and enlightenment really for the both of us in that moment. And you guys, this is the reality of life. These kind of things are always happening. And I just want to share these stories with you today because I know that many of you are going through things in your own life, and I don't want you to second guess yourself. I want you to feel whole. I want you to know you're whole, because when you know you're whole, you will be so secure in that you're going to feel as if you are in a safe and protected bubble, that you're secure and that you're grounded because you are. And the cool thing about life and the way that the universe works is that it is always speaking to you. And in my mind, it's living through us. The Spirit's living through us. It's just your soul is here to enjoy, to live, to be, to seek. And, I posted something online the other day, is problem amnesia. Like I was talking to my friend, I was like, I forgot all about that problem. And I was like, that's good. It's like I have problem amnesia. And, what I realized is that, when we're lying in our deathbed, what matters? Nothing matters. Not the houses we've owned. It's the love we've shared. It's the time. It's really our legacy. It's the amount of love we've helped. It's the upliftment that we've given to the world. It's the fun we've had. You do have problem amnesia because what you remember is the good. And if you're holding on to the bad, then, you got to switch that. Otherwise, you're going to be in a state of pain, mental pain, physical pain for a very long time, if not your whole life. We are here to enjoy. That is our only purpose. We're here to enjoy. And being in unconditional happiness. The more conditions we place upon this life, the more we are really affecting our own happiness. So I just want to encourage you guys to really step into your wholeness today and allow life to just bless you, because it's here blessing you, whether you are witnessing it and giving true appreciation and gratitude for each moment of your life. Over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of massive, big, huge epiphanies about, problems that were bringing me down, but it was really my mental shift that had to change. It was a mental thing that had to change around the way I looked at life, around the way I looked at a person, or my own internal experiences around my expectations with people. And once I started to really look at these things and start to change them and let them go and kind of surrender them, then the universe started to bless me and make it so I knew that it was all for me. Because once I started to let go of expectations, new gifts and awarenesses came into my life, and massive shifts began to happen. And I teach this in when there's a tangible idea, okay, with my clients. And I can look at something and I can say, okay, here's the two sides to it. What do you want? And what are you thinking? Because oftentimes we're putting a disconnected belief out there. You want something, but you're thinking something else, or your belief is something else. So therefore, you're putting out a wobble and you're getting back a wobble. And, I just really want to encourage you that you are whole, you are wise, you know what you want, you know what you need. And I just want to encourage you today to really just step into your wholeness and really trust that life is for you, and that all of these situations in your life, all the feelings that you have, that it's all really truly happening for you. And when there's any sort of disconnect and there's any sort of ill feelings, take a moment to pause and go inside and simply ask yourself this: is this making me happy, or is this making me sad? And if our only goal is happiness, then you've got a couple options. First and foremost, you're going to have to release a thought. And sometimes we have our own talons in our thoughts, thinking we're right. But what do you want? Do you want to be right, or do you want to feel good? So therefore, sometimes your beliefs and your thoughts have to shift in order for you to feel good. Okay, does that make sense? That is one of the biggest things that I can share with you today. And I needed to share these stories with you because I know that a lot of you have your own experiences right now where outside sources are affecting you physiologically. And I want to just empower you to put yourself in that protective bubble and know that you're safe, know that you're whole, know that you're protected, know that your feelings matter. And anytime that there is a disconnect in your body, you're disconnecting from your own internal higher self. Okay, so move into that. Feel where you are. Ask yourself, what do I want right now? What do I want to feel? I want to feel good. I want to feel grounded. I want to feel whole. I want to feel happy. Make then the decision from that higher self to move forward in love and in grace with how you react to the world around you. Okay? That is the most important thing. So you guys, I'm going to ask you a favor. A lot of people here in my community have been, sharing thanks and praise for this podcast and the work that I do. And I'm so grateful for you. I do not have a massive following because I don't segment my list to just certain people. It's kind of like an all-inclusive podcast here, from fitness to spirituality to self-development. And the only way people are going to really know about these messages is if they're shared by you. And I really just ask you today that, if this message, if it touches you, then I invite you to share it with somebody who you feel this message could help today. I'm asking for help getting my word, this word. It's not my word. It's it's coming through me. This stuff is channeled. These are life experiences that are like shared, that need to be shared. And I just invite you to share this message with people. And because you're all having these kind of experiences in your own life, especially like the hawk story. There are no mistakes, you guys. So really want you to just take on this idea that everything is happening for you. Share this message with people you love and start to move into this idea that the soul is living through you. The spirit is living through you. And how can you connect to that? Because the moment you start to connect to that, that's when everything starts to flow. I can't remember the passage in the Bible, but there's a passage I once read that it's like when the message has been put on your heart, that you have to share it and you're not sharing it, you're actually working against the flow of the universe. You're working against yourself. It's like you're swimming upstream. So you have to go with the flow. It's here. It's for you. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I love you so much. And I pray and I know that this message will help you. I shared this stuff with a friend of mine this morning. He's like, please don't ever forget these messages. Write them down. They're so powerful. I said, you know what? I'll do it even better. I will go share them with the world. I will make a podcast out of them. So here it is. I invite you to share this. I ask you to share it. And also reach out to me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you need any help, coaching, whatever. I am here for you. And that's what we are here to do for each other as earth angels. And we are all here in this together, you guys. So much love to you and have a great day. And God bless your amazing, beautiful soul. I love you. Bye. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show today. I am so grateful for you. So if you're new here, welcome. And I invite you to come over to my website, liznierzwicki.com, and sign up for my newsletter. It is through liznierzwicki.com that you'll have access to my coaching, my premium coaching products, where it is all about the spiritual aspect of our human existence, also transcending beyond any sort of bad habits that we have, reactionary triggers and things that are keeping us stuck so that we can transcend. I call this human transcendence. In addition to that, on my website, you'll find a website within a site, and that's called Figure Fit. That is my online personal training platform where I am coaching people not only with high intense interval training and strength training, but through yoga and really truly helping people feel amazing in their body. I have over 30 years of experience perfecting body mastery. When I was 8 years old, I broke my back, and now I am, an avid fitness enthusiast. As that experience when I was young forced me to always have a strong core because I needed to support my low back. When I was young, I did sports, ran track, played volleyball, basketball, became a dancer in high school, started lifting weights in college. That was the number one way I found to make my body look amazing. And then when I got out of college, I got into yoga and really started to bridge the gap between the body and the spiritual aspects that I always felt with my own existence and my own life, knowing that we're all spiritual, we're all gods, we're all goddesses. I always knew that. I always felt that. And over the course of my life, I've shared my stories with my international best-selling book, Happy, Healthy, Fit, and through my coaching programs, whether they're online or at my yoga studio. I have a yoga school. So I have brought all of that together, and that platform is liznierzwicki.com. And it's my goal to help you live an amazing life where you feel good in your body, you feel connected to your higher sense of who you are, your higher source, and you can then begin to create the life of your dreams, whether it is through really going after your dreams as an entrepreneur and creating a life for yourself or your family. This is my goal, is to help you. And I am here for you. So join me at LizNierzwicki.com, everybody. And so for those of you that need help with my spelling, it's Nierzwicki, LizNierzwicki.com. And until next time, I am so grateful you're here, you guys. Have a blessed day and so much love to you. Bye.